Hello, my name is Kim, and in this timeless reading, we are going to find out what it is that you can expect and or look forward to in the next 7 days. Now, because this is a timeless reading, the next 7 days could either be from whenever you happen to be watching this video, or it could be any next 7 days of your choice. You get to decide. And a quick reminder that not everything is set in stone. Energy is always shifting, transforming, and changing in accordance with our actions, decisions, and even way of thinking. So you do not have to claim a message if, first of all, it's not resonating at all with you, or it's not in alignment with your current desires or intentions, okay? But now let us take a closer look at the options. So there are 4 different readings, therefore 4 different groups to choose from. Representing group 1 is the clover leaf. Representing group 2 is the shepherd. Representing group 3 is the bear. Representing group 4 is the rider. Please take a moment to ponder upon or meditate on the options, and the one that you are drawn to the most, that will be the reading for you. If it happens to be the case that you are not drawn to any of these options, yet you would still like a timeless reading about the next 7 days, I do have a playlist of other next 7 days prediction readings that you can look through if you feel called to do so, just to see if there is any other video that draws your attention at this moment. So if you are interested, the link to that playlist will be provided in both the description box and the pinned comment in the comment section down below, where you can also find the timestamp for each group that you see here. But if you are sticking around for this reading and you have already selected your group, then let us get started. Let's go! Hello Group 1, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on this group's energy, the phrase or the term hearing aid came to mind, as well as the word park. So for those of you who do wear a hearing aid, in the next 7 days you might be getting a new one, or for those of you who are wanting one or require one, you could be getting your first one sometime in the next 7 days. Or you could be finding out in the next 7 days that you have been approved to receive one or get one. Now, in the next 7 days, some of you may be visiting either a recreational park or an amusement park. Or if you don't have any plans to visit one, this could be simply coming up as a suggestion to you that it might be a good idea these next 7 days to visit a recreational park, walk around in nature, sit or lay on the grass, read a nice book, listen to some music, or just hear the sound of nature. But let us now pull out the cards to get a little bit more info or insight about the next 7 days. I also get the feeling that in the next 7 days, or for the majority of the next 7 days, your disposition will be quite sunny or cheerful. So you might find yourself in a really good mood, or feeling quite positive, being quite optimistic. Okay, no? Okay, that card wanted to come out. So we have the 5 of Wands, number 33 with the clover. So I know this is a 3-leaf clover, not a 4-leaf clover, but it often makes me think of a 4-leaf clover, which is a symbol of good luck and fortune. And the 4-leaf clover often reminds me of the expression being at the right place at the right time. So like I said, in the next 7 days, or sometime in the next 7 days, you might find yourself feeling quite hopeful, being quite optimistic, because when I was meditating on this group's energy, I did see in my mind's eye an array of colors, a rainbow per se, and I also pictured a sun or sunlight. So something good might be occurring sometime in the next 7 days that's going to lift your spirits or just get you in a really good mood. But I do sense that sometime in the next 7 days, you yourself might simply be feeling a sense of joy, and it might not be exactly due to something that happened or some news that you received. It's just something that you are feeling So if someone asks you, boy, you're quite cheerful, what's going on? You might reply, oh, nothing, or I'm not sure, I just feel good. I just feel happy. Or if someone asks you, why are you smiling? You might reply, oh, what? I hadn't realized that I was smiling this whole time. I don't know, I guess I just am smiling, like that kind of thing. So there might be some shift in the energy and you're picking up on that. You might be picking up on that something really good is about to happen, or that maybe you are in a really good space or place at this current moment in your life, or sometime in the next 7 days. It just seems like you're emitting this really good feel vibe because you yourself are feeling quite well. Might be that you're feeling quite healthy, or that maybe things that needed to get resolved have been resolved, everything's in order, and that helps you to feel relaxed and feel maybe a sense of relief or a sense of order, like all is good. Also, the number 33 is really standing out to me. So some of you could be 33 years of age, or you might be turning 33 sometime in the next 7 days. If that is the case, happy birthday to you. But 33 is a master number as well as a life path number. So some of you could be a life path number 33. And if that is the case, this might be serving as confirmation to you. Also, someone who may be a life path number 33 or was born on the 3rd of a month or on the month of March could be playing a significant role in your life in the next 7 days. But you might be seeing the number 3 or the number 33 or repeated 3s quite often throughout the next 7 days. The number 3 in and of itself is a number of expansion, growth, creativity, and creation. And the expression that just came to mind was divine creator. So in the next 7 days, you could be feeling quite creative or just quite innovative, ingenuitive. You might be getting a lot of ideas or downloads, as some people say, for new ideas, maybe new creative projects or new approaches, new systems that are way more efficient, more helpful, more inspiring and motivating to you. Yeah, because I feel like sometime in the next 7 days, you're going to get sort of, it's not exactly an adrenaline rush, but there is going to be this inspiration to either create or build upon something that you have already created, or work on something that maybe recently you haven't been feeling so inspired to work on, perhaps. Some of you could even feel inspired or feel energized to clean, to organize, to maybe rearrange furniture in your space, or to completely change the aesthetic of a space. Some of you could be rummaging through your closet and removing certain items, or you could be creating a whole new wardrobe, a whole new style for yourself. Or sometime in the next 7 days, you might feel inspired to play with your aesthetic, with your style perhaps, create new outfits for yourself, or focus more on style. Yeah, I keep thinking of style or aesthetics, ambience. So you could be really into that sometime in the next 7 days, or find much joy in playing with that. The 5 of Wands does indicate competition and quite a combative energy. So what is coming through here is that if you are in a competitive field, like your line of work, your occupation, your profession, the industry that you work in is quite competitive, or is quite saturated, like there's always something new, something going on. It's making me think of like fast fashion kind of thing. Like there's always something going on, and at times it might feel like it's hard to keep up. In the next 7 days with this 3-leaf clover, I do see you standing out. And the fact that this is a 3-leaf clover and not a 4-leaf clover, I feel like the reason you are standing out, it's not because you are either following the norms or a trend, or you're putting in the effort to stand out, like you're forcing for something in order to get attention or be picked is how it came through. No, you're standing out because you're going with the flow. Because I do see you making some changes or arrangements or updates, upgrades as mentioned previously, but the intention behind them is not to stand out per se. It's more so because you feel like it's time for a change. It's something that is occurring quite naturally and organically because you feel called to do so. And because you're allowing yourself to go with the flow, that is the thing that is helping you to stand out. Because I really want to emphasize that this energy here doesn't feel forced. It feels quite natural. It feels organic. And I feel like that is what is transmitting to others. Because the expression, a breath of fresh air, just came to mind. So if you are, let's say, in the public eye, or you do work with customers, have a clientele, it seems like your viewers, your followers, subscribers, your audience, your clientele, well, of course I can't speak for everyone, but the overall energy here feels that of a collective feeling quite pleased or quite comfortable with the changes that they are seeing, because it feels organic, it feels natural. It is very much like a breath of fresh air. It feels needed. It could also be that a lot of people feel comfortable with this because it's relatable, it's not overdone or over exaggerated, it's not deceitful, like it's its own thing. Like, it's not trying hard to be anything, it's just its own thing. And that can be felt. And it's quite pleasant. At least that's how it's coming through, that it's quite pleasant to others. And I feel like it will be quite pleasant to you as well, because throughout all of this, you're not going to feel like you're forcing anything, or there won't be any pressure, because I'm not really sensing any pressure with this Five of Wands. I feel like if there might be pressure, it will come from you starting to focus on meeting certain expectations, or on being the best, on needing to compete against others or one up others, is how it's coming through. But we have number 49 with judgmental and critic, as well as the message, leave any judgments behind, specifically of yourself. All the judgments in the world should only come from menial people who don't have anything better to do with themselves, and these people do not need your energy. Yeah, so I did notice that this card fell out in the reverse. I just want to point that out. I don't usually read these cards reversal, and I won't be doing so for this reading, but I just felt called to point that out, because this is the energy I feel like you're not engaging with this month. This is the energy that you're possibly leaving behind, or it's just not appealing to you. It's not tempting you at all. You're not even thinking about it, which is interesting that it even came up, because I feel like in the next 7 days you're forgetting about either being judgmental towards yourself or judgmental towards others, or engaging in forums and communities that are quite judgmental, quite critical. I feel like this month you're leaning more towards being playful, having fun, experimenting, being innovative, allowing for your imagination to soar. You're more concerned about improving or bettering upon something. Again, not for the sake of what others will say or how others will take it, but more so because you do feel like it's time for some changes, time for some upgrades. It could be that maybe you have recently received some kind of feedback or constructive criticism, and you really took the time to look into that, see how it applies to you, see if maybe this is something that you do want to address, and that if you did address it, would it be helpful or not? And it could be that a lot of you decided that it was helpful to address this or take it into consideration, and maybe in the next 7 days or sometime in the next 7 days you are taking into consideration this feedback and making adjustments accordingly. But I see you feeling quite good about all this. Like I said, I don't sense any pressure. I feel like this is quite stimulating to you, because I keep noticing this 3-leaf clover, and these veins on the leaf are really standing out to me because they're filled in the color yellow, just making me think of like light and energy, life force. So it feels like you're getting a lot of stimulation and a lot of energy, inspiration from creating changes, making adjustments, working on something. And there's this feeling of minding your own business for the next 7 days, which is really helping for you to get out of this mindset or this mentality of being overly critical of yourself, judgmental to the point of becoming pessimistic or cynical, or having no energy or motivation to work on that which you are quite passionate about or you do have some interest in. Yeah, I even feel with judgmental, I even feel like some of you could be choosing to not participate in or be a part of a specific inner or social circle or a specific environment. like I see you shifting into a new energy or being more focused on something else that is quite different from what you normally focus on or engage with, because I'm sensing a lot of lightheartedness. I'm also sensing mental clarity. So if there is a specific environment, social inner circle, that when you are in it, when you engage with it, you tend to feel quite confused, or your energy feels quite dense, like there's a lot going on in your mind, a lot of worries or concerns that weren't there in the first place start popping up, then I feel like these are the environments or circles that you are not really engaging with or participating, being a part of in the next 7 days. And I feel like that is what is helping you to be in different kind of energy that is a lot more lighthearted, that feels a lot clearer. Because I'm picking up on something expansive, something with more room, more space. Yeah, it could also be with, the illustration and the judgmental card, that in the next 7 days, you could be taking some time off from social media, or being online, or being on a specific forum, for example. For those of you who are gamers, you could be taking a break from gaming in the next 7 days, or find yourself spending less time gaming, because there's just something here of someone spending less time in front of a screen. It could be a TV screen, it could also be a phone screen, a monitor, tablet. And there was a message at the beginning of like spending time outdoors, right? So some of you could actually be spending more time outdoors and less time in front of a screen in the next 7 days. And that for some could be shifting something, because I'm sensing, I'm picking up on like brain fog, that there was brain fog, but then it starts dissipating. So if you have been experiencing brain fog sometime in the next 7 days, you may be experiencing less of it or none of it. And it could be because you are doing something different in your day-to-day routine. You're doing something that stimulates, I want to say, a different part of your brain. Yeah, because these veins here are also making me think of neural synapses. So you could be engaging a different part of your brain in the next 7 days, and that could be creating some positive shift. Also, with this fish in a bowl, I do feel like in the next 7 days, you're going to feel less restricted, or you're going to spend more time in an environment or a space that feels more open. It could be the opposite too, right? I just feel like you're gonna spend time in a different kind of environment, in a different setting, and that you are going to spot a difference, not only in the environment itself, but in how you feel being in this different environment or different setting. That will give you a lot of clarity as to whether or not your environment, your setting, the layout of the space that you work in really matters or is important, or if it really doesn't make a difference. But I feel like for a lot of you, it does make a difference. It could be that some of you do require of a bigger space, or you just require for your space to be less cluttered, or you do require of like natural sunlight coming in, or fresh air. For others of you, you might do well or better in a more enclosed space, one that feels a little bit more cozy, because that could create this feeling of security or stability that might make you feel a lot more comfortable or a lot more grounded. Yeah, so it will depend, but I do feel like the next 7 days you are going to be spending time in a new setting, new environment, or you could be creating a new layout for yourself. Because I did mention something at the beginning of like rearranging the furniture in your space, reorganizing or organizing certain things. Also, the illustration and the judgmental card made me think of a television series or a series. So some of you could be getting hooked on a new series sometime in the next 7 days, which is quite interesting, because I did just mention that some of you could be spending less time online or in front of a screen. So I don't know, maybe the only time that you are on the screen is watching this series, because I do see something like binging. Or it could be that after binging this entire show or series, that's when you decide to cut down on your screen time, like spend more time outside. Some of you could be becoming the caretaker of an aquatic animal, a fish perhaps, sometime in the next 7 days. But let me pull out extra oracle cards to get any more messages, advice, or guidance for these next 7 days. So we have, there is no right or wrong way to live your life. Be easy on yourself. Yeah, so I feel like this next 7 days, you are being encouraged or advised to not focus so much on what others are doing or what the public will say or how they think or how they perceive you, because I feel like that will only deplete you of your energy, that will only kill your inspiration, your creativity, or limit it in some way. But I do feel that for the majority of you, you're not really concerned with all these things, or it's more like you won't find yourself being concerned with all these things. But if you do, just, it's important to remind yourself to be easy on yourself. There's a lot of people who like to spend their time, or just more like kill time, being on platforms and leaving judgmental or rude, mean comments, and that could be how they vent. But that doesn't mean that you have to engage with that. That doesn't mean that you have to take any of that to heart or take it personally or let it affect you. So just be mindful of all of that in the next 7 days, especially if you know that, like scrolling through the comment section, reading all of the comments and so forth really affects you, or if you have noticed that after, spending time in the comment section, you find yourself feeling less energized, or your mood changes, you become a little bit more frustrated, irritable, or sad. Yeah, you might want to moderate how much time you're spending like reading through people's comments or on forums like discussion boards or something like that. Yeah, because there is no right or wrong, this is just making me think of how there are so many different opinions out there. One person might see something and think it wrong, and another person might see the same thing and think it right. And there's always like conflicting opinions on the internet, conflicting information. So yeah, if you're basing your decisions on what other people say is right or wrong, or what they more like think should be or shouldn't, then just be mindful of that, because that could result in you feeling more disconnected with your inner compass or with yourself. Yeah, because I'm noticing how there is this star right above this person's crown head. And then we have another star here in the sky, and this is just making me think of the crown chakra, but also one's higher self, inner guidance, inner compass. So when everything else is confusing, when you're getting mixed messages, advice coming from others, remember that you can always go within, tune out the outside noise, and go within to listen to your own inner voice. Sense in your body what feels right to you and what doesn't. Because at the end of the day, this is your path. Whatever path you choose, you're the one who's going to have to walk on that path, not anyone else. So choose something that does feel in alignment with you. At least that is the advice for the next 7 days. Let me pull out another card. Yeah, this is also making me think of like walking in nature, going to a recreational park, to do some light exercise like walking or jogging. Some of you could go hiking sometime in the next 7 days, or go flower picking is how it came to mind. Yeah, and I do feel like a lot of you could benefit from cutting back on your social media time. But of course, it's up to you. This is just advice or a suggestion that came through. But we also have, if you find yourself forcing or efforting, take a break. Everything feels effortless after alignment of your energy. So this is pretty much what was being said at the start of the reading. Yeah, oh, and here's the rainbow. Yeah, I did mention that I did see a rainbow or several different colors in my mind's eye when meditating on the energy of this group. So rainbows could be an important symbol or sign. Some of you could literally be seeing a rainbow sometime in the next 7 days. And if you do, that could just be your reminder to you to focus on you, or lean more towards allowing yourself to be you rather than trying to force yourself to be something that you might assume other people want to see, or become something that you think others are expecting of you, because who you are is enough. And this rainbow is also reminding me of a prism or of a jewel. A jewel has different facets, and so you are a quite intricate and unique individual. So you are being encouraged to embrace your unique characteristics, traits, tastes as well. Yeah, and again, this is just a reminder that if you find yourself forcing something to the point where it feels off, or it just gets you feeling quite depleted because it's no longer fulfilling. It's just very straining. Be mindful of that. You know, when you start feeling that way, take a break, take a step back from whatever it is that you're forcing, and come back to it at a later time. Because that break you take could give you insight as to what isn't working, or what is it that you're forcing, or whether this is something that you actually want to be working on or be a part of. Yeah, but tulips or pink flowers could be an important symbol or sign as well. But the expression that just came to mind, or message that just came to mind, was you are like a unique flower. You know, no two flowers are alike, even if they are from the same genus. Like if you put a red rose with a red rose, I know there's like a variation of red roses, but I'm not quite familiar with them. But you know, just for this example, if you put one red rose next to another red rose, even if they are part of the same genus, the same family, they're not going to look exactly alike. There might be some similarities, but they won't be exactly alike. There are going to be some variations, some differences, which then, you know, creates that uniqueness. So even if you find similarities between you and others, that doesn't take away from the fact that you are a unique individual. That you can and you do stand out, especially when you embrace all of you and don't focus so much on how others perceive you. Yeah, because this television is making me think of like projecting as well as perception. So in the next 7 days, you might find yourself feeling or being less self-conscious. Or if you do struggle with self-consciousness, feeling inadequate, it's the word that came to mind, in the next 7 days, you might be addressing that and doing something that is really going to help with you reducing these feelings of self-consciousness or inadequacy. Because I want to say, with like the flower and the 3-leaf clover, you are quite beautiful. You are a radiant soul. And you have a beautiful energy. And I do sense that a lot of you could have some form of spiritual practice, or you could be quite connected to spirit. Yeah, as mentioned, you could be receiving, or you do often receive downloads that you are almost immediately able to register or interpret. Some of you could actually be or consider yourself identify as mediums, or you could be interested in mediumship. Also, clairvoyance is coming to mind. So you might receive intuitive messages or channel messages through hearing, like hearing it in your mind, or you could actually hear it like with your physical ears, like hear spirit. Your hearing could be quite sensitive, or your senses could be quite heightened to the point where you might even hear or just pick up on the energy around you. So you might hear like high-pitched noises, or like a ringing when you're near or in around a high vibrational energy. I don't really like that phrase, high vibrational, but like high frequency, right? And you might hear like a rumble or like a low tone when you're around a low frequency. And this has nothing to do with tinnitus or any other like medical condition. Yeah, so if you are experiencing constant ringing in your ears, or some inconsistency or disturbance, abnormality with your hearing, you know, please consider going to the doctor, having that checked out. Yeah, especially if it's affecting your day-to-day, or it's just quite uncomfortable to you. Okay, but now I'm going to move to the last segment of this reading, where I'm going to pull out, or draw out more like, what are they? Some homemade dies to find out what will be occurring on specific days. So, okay. Okay, so I'm going to put all those dies that fell outside of the circle back into the little bag, as well as the dies that didn't fall with a drawing facing up. So we have 4 dice in total. The lightning bolt for the first day. For the third day of the next 7 days, we have the sunglasses or glasses, as well as the knot. And for the 6th day, we have the envelope. So on the first day with the lightning bolt, you might be receiving some important news on this day. The expression that came to mind was lightning will strike. So you might be receiving a really cool, very innovative idea on this day. Like inspiration might strike sometime throughout the first day of the next 7 days. And I feel like whatever this idea will be is one that is really going to get you pumped up, feeling quite enthusiastic about whatever this idea is pertaining to, or it's going to give you the motivation to get up and like work on something, or create something new, or make adjustments, updates, as we mentioned previously. Yeah, I'm even seeing someone like getting up in the middle of the night because they received an idea in their dreams or right before they were about to fall asleep, and they get up to write it down or immediately start working on whatever this idea is pertaining to. But I'm sensing a lot of excitement, joy, and happiness on the first day of the next 7 days. Also, just a heads up, remember this is a general reading and I am not a weather forecast person, but what did come up was that it could rain on the first day of the next 7 days, and there could be a storm, like thunder or lightning. Yeah, so just a heads up. Again, I'm not a weather forecaster, so check your weather forecast for wherever it is that you are residing during this time. But we have on the 3rd day, also the lightning bolt, it makes me think of the lightning scar on Harry Potter. So some of you could be Potterheads, Harry Potter fans. And yeah, I did mention like an amusement park. So on the first day of the next 7 days, some of you could be making plans to, or you could actually be visiting an amusement park where there is like a Harry Potter theme section, like Universal Studios, for example. Or you could be rewatching some of the Harry Potter films or rereading some of the Harry Potter books. Or something related to Harry Potter might be occurring on this day. Again, that is if you are like a Harry Potter fan, because I do see you being quite excited about this. But we also have on the 3rd day, we have the glasses, which makes me think of a new perspective, makes me think of clarity, seeing something with a lot more clarity. So yeah, and I did mention something about you feeling a lot more clear-headed. So yeah, if you've been experiencing brain fog, I feel like this brain fog might be completely gone, or you're going to experience less of it. But the glasses also makes me think of you seeing what needs to be addressed or what needs to be fixed. Just as an example, or more like a metaphor, right? Like if there's a flood, finding out where the leak is so that then you can take care of that leak. That's the kind of feeling I get for the 3rd day of the next 7 days. So if like you find yourself struggling with a problem, and I'm seeing something like a math problem or like an issue at work or with a program, a software, or something that you're working on, by the 3rd day, you're going to experience like an aha moment. You're going to see like, oh, so that's missing, or that's what wasn't working out, or here's the bug, here's the problem. Like now I can address it because now I know what to do, what needs addressing, what needs adjusting. So that's what I see occurring on the 3rd day. Also, some of you could be getting new prescription glasses on this day, or visiting the optometrist, or you could just be purchasing a nice pair of, I was going to say Sunny D's, but like sunglasses, or just like fashion glasses perhaps. And yeah, if that's the case, these will look really good on you. You're going to get a lot of compliments from them. But with the rope, the knot, this is making me think of securing something. So, with the glasses, this is making me think of making something secure. So on the 3rd day of the next 7 days, you could be like making adjustments that are going to create a lot more security, or going to make something a lot more stable, more secure, or a lot more reliable. Yeah, this is also making me think of like fixing an issue. Some of you could also be like addressing privacy settings in the next 7 days with specific accounts, specific apps, programs that you normally use, or maybe addressing security issues, fixing security issues. Also, this just came out of the blue, but some of you could be doing some car maintenance, especially addressing like issues with the brakes on this day. Or if you have been feeling like something's off with your car, maybe this is just your suggestion to consider getting your car checked, just to make sure that everything is in order. But this is also making me think of like securing a deal or securing a sponsorship. Some of you, if you're influencers, if you are in the public eye, get it? Lenses? No? Okay. You could be securing some kind of sponsorship or like endorsement. And it could be pertaining to like eyewear, eyeglasses, like contact lenses even, because the knot also makes me think of contracts. Oh yeah, and if you are presented with a contract or anything that requires for you to sign a deal, give your approval, say yes to it, just with the glasses, before saying yes, before signing, just read through the contract, read the fine print, read through everything. Make sure that you understand what the clauses are all about, what is being asked of you, what is being denied perhaps, to make sure that you do agree with everything, that you are clear of everything, that there are no misunderstandings, or that nothing is being overlooked. Yeah, some of you could even be offered an NDA, because the knot made me think of like having a knot in your throat. Yeah, so there could be some non-disclosure agreement that might be presented to you on the 3rd day of the next 7 days. But then on the 6th day of the next 7 days, we have the envelope. So some of you could be receiving important mail on this day, especially if you have been awaiting some kind of news or response. You will be receiving it on the 6th day of the next 7 days. Also check your inbox, your spam folder, or your trash bin. Yeah, because sometimes email gets lost in any one of these files. So again, if you're expecting a response or you're expecting a certain email, just make sure to look through all of that if you feel like it's been some time and you haven't yet received it. Because I do see you receiving some kind of response or important email or mail on the 6th day of the next 7 days. I don't know if people still do that, but what came to mind was the word pen pal. So some of you could actually be writing to someone, like physical letters. You might have a pen pal and they will be responding to you, or you will be receiving something from them. I even got like P.O. box. If you have a P.O. box, you could be receiving something in your P.O. box on the 6th day of the next 7 days. Also, just like check your mail. If you haven't looked into your mail, just make sure to check it. That's just what came through. Yeah, and there could be a friend or someone. They could be sending you something in the mail, like a little card or a note or an actual letter, or maybe even a little gift, a souvenir of sorts. Yeah, and if you send something out to someone else, they will be receiving it sometime in the next 7 days. It could be on the 6th day of the next 7 days, but it will definitely be sometime in the next 7 days. Oh, and if some of you have been wondering or like going back and forth on whether you should send a thank you letter to someone, yeah, I feel like this is like your reassurance or your confirmation that, yeah, it's okay for you to do so. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, these are all the messages I am seeing for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. And for all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to Spirit, who assisted me with delivering these messages to you. So thank you so much, Spirit. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful next 7 days. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, if you chose group 2, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on this group's energy, the expression running something over came to mind. So in the next 7 days, someone could be going over something with you before finalizing it, before approving it, updating it, sending it over. They could be running it by you first. This could also be you going over something with someone else. But I do see you checking over something in the next 7 days. Like making sure that everything is in order, that everything is up to date. Yeah, so this gives me the feeling or the vibe that you are in the midst of completing something or making the final adjustments. Also, in the next 7 days, you might find yourself running a lot of errands, or running errands that you have been putting on hold for quite some time. So if there are certain errands that you have been needing to attend to, yeah, in the next 7 days, you might find yourself having the time to get to them, or you could be making time, because you might find that some of these errands you can no longer postpone. But I am getting a very quick energy, like on the go. So you could be finding yourself quite active, quite mobile. In the next 7 days, you may find yourself often on the go or being on the go. Seems like there's a lot to get done, or you are in the process of getting a lot of stuff done, getting a lot of stuff finalized. But now let us move onto the cards, to get more info and insight about the next 7 days. I do get the feeling that a lot of you who chose this group do have some kind of office job, or you do have a very important role at work, or you just have a very important role in general, because I'm also picking up on like someone who's a parent who has a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff to attend to, or a caregiver, caretaker. I'm getting like corporate job as well, a teacher perhaps. But we have the Page of Swords with number 52, the Shepherd. So the Page of Swords is associated with air signs. So that would be Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. So some of you could be an air, sun, moon, or rising sign. Or you could have a lot of air placements in your natal chart. It could also be that someone who is an air sign will be playing a significant role in your life in the next 7 days. But I'm getting strong Gemini energy. So if it happens to be Gemini season in the next 7 days, this Gemini season could be quite pivotal, important, or significant. I'm seeing a lot of clarity or realizations occurring during this Gemini season. Like a lot of aha moments. Okay, but to clarify, we have introverted with number 47, and the key terms calm and introspective, as well as the message and energy of quiet and stillness may come your way. It is needed. Spend time in. So quite interesting, because we also have the Shepherd here, which makes me think of introspection, solitude, slow living, kind of an idyllic lifestyle. And I said interesting because I was picking up on a very fast-paced energy, like someone on the go, someone who is attending to a lot of different responsibilities, has a lot going on, who might often find their schedule pretty busy. So if you are quite a busy bee, if you are often on the go, I feel like you are encouraged to consider taking a break from time to time. I know that's like easier said than done, especially for those of you who do have a lot of responsibilities, who like your role demands a lot from you. It might be easy for me to say take a break, but it might be a little bit difficult to actually make some time to slow down and relax. But I do feel like you are being encouraged to do so, and of course it is all for your well-being, for your mental health, your physical health. It's also to allow you some reprieve from the day-to-day activities, from this fast-paced life. I know not a lot of people are into the whole slow living, like idyllic kind of lifestyle, and this is not like an invitation or an indication to transition into that lifestyle if you're not comfortable with it, if that's not your style, if that's not what you're aiming for. But this is just like a reminder that it's okay to everyone now and then take it slow. It is helpful. It does benefit in some way. And I especially feel with these two cards that it will benefit your mental health and your nervous system, as well as your internal clock. That's how it's coming through. It might help with regulating your nervous system, especially if you've been feeling on edge or quite anxious, or you've been feeling on overdrive, like overstimulated. Yeah, and some of you might actually feel inspired to take it slow, spend some time alone, go somewhere where there's not a lot of noise, like noise pollution, where it's not so busy, where you can take your time with things without feeling pressured, like places where there aren't any lines, places where there isn't a lot of traffic. The clock isn't constantly ticking. That's the feeling I get. For whatever reason, this illustration in the Shepherd card made me think of Italy, or like a small town, a province, the countryside. So some of you could be visiting like Italy or Spain, or the countryside or province, Or with introverted, you might just be spending less time outside, less time in public spaces, public settings, more time indoors, more time at home maybe, or some of you could actually be visiting loved ones in the next 7 days, or it could be friends or people who you deem to be your family even if they aren't related by blood. But it could be family for a lot of you, because this doggy just made me think of like the family dog, the family fur baby. I don't often use that expression, but you know, like animal companion. Yeah, and with calm, I just do see you taking it slow or finding reprieve from the busy life. You could find yourself being quite introspective, or there could be this desire to introspect, contemplate your journey so far, maybe on what is going on in your life. But there is this desire to want to just pause. And you know, the Page of Swords is quite communicative, quite chatty. They love to talk. They love to be in conversation. They also love to absorb information, learn, study, acquire knowledge, or just the Page of Swords could also really enjoy gossip. So this is making me think of like gathering in a circle, or like being amongst loved ones and just chatting the day, afternoon, or night away. So some of you could be spending time, as mentioned previously, with loved ones, just chilling, relaxing, talking about life, maybe getting really deep in a conversation, you know, or just deep, like philosophical per se. Yeah, and some topics or questions that will arise midst conversation could get you to thinking, introspecting about certain aspects of your life, certain things, like things that you never thought of or considered before. It could also be that sometime in the next 7 days you might experience a lot of mental chatter. Like I said, there could be some questions that will arise either in conversation with another or just in conversation with yourself, like in your inner dialogue. And these questions will get you thinking, will get you wondering about certain things, or will get you even questioning, looking deeper into something. And the Shepherd is making me think of someone who is desiring some kind of change, but what is coming through in specific, especially with introverted, is that there could be a desire, or sometime in the next 7 days there might be this desire to move, to relocate, maybe to travel, but I do sense it has something to do with relocating, moving into a new place, a new location. Some of you could even be thinking about retiring, or transitioning into like a freelance career job or a remote job, for example. This might not be, of course, for everyone, but I do feel like some of you are currently in your late 40s, early 50s, and you might be feeling this desire to actually transition from like a fast-paced city life to a more suburban or countryside idyllic life or lifestyle, especially for those of you who live for that busy life. You could be craving calm in the next 7 days. Like you could be craving and longing for that, like really needing it. Yeah, so in the next 7 days, you could very well be experiencing a new kind of desire, one that is quite unfamiliar to you, because it's something that you've never really thought about before, you never really entertained, it never really appealed to you before until now. But the Page of Swords can also speak about communication and news. So you might be receiving certain news or communication in the next 7 days that you have been awaiting. But the other thing I'm feeling with this closed door is that you might be logging off from certain platforms. I'm thinking of someone who is turning their phone off because they don't want to be bothered with like emails or text messages, notifications from work. Like they just want to have some alone time, or they just want to relax. They don't want to think about work. It's kind of like taking a break from something that is constantly on the go. Because I'm also seeing someone deciding to take a break from communicating with people who are often online, like who are often texting or sending like memes, or like who possibly are often gossiping. Is the other thing I'm sensing, which is interesting because I am sensing gossiping going on in the next 7 days, but it's more like the difference I'm being shown between the two is like one is through texting, one is through like messaging and like more judgmental kind of gossip, and the other one is more of face to face, like I'm with you in a setting, we're seeing each other eye to eye and we're communicating and we're just updating each other about our lives and updating each other about what's going on in other people's lives and reminiscing about old days and, joking around, exchanging jokes and so forth. It's more like socializing and communicating and being in a community, the second one, versus the first one. It's more like high school gossip or drama, that kind of thing. It's reminding me like of the movie 13 Going on 30, like that kind of industry. She worked in like the magazine news, fashion industry, I think, where there's always new news, there's always something to like criticize and talk about and gossip about, but it's very superficial. It's the kind of feeling I get. So there's that kind, and then the one that's more community based, more intimate, more personal, and more lighthearted. Sorry if I rambled on about that, but I kept getting those images and that difference was being emphasized and it just wouldn't go away. So I had to address it, and so that I can move on to the next messages. But now I'm going to pull out some extra oracle cards to get any more messages, advice, and or guidance for the next 7 days. Oh, let me try that again because a lot of cards fell out together. Some of you could be visiting grandparents or like uncles and aunts in the next 7 days, or just people who might feel like uncles and aunts, like who might have that kind of vibe, even if they aren't related to you. But we have the message, knowing what you don't want helps you find out what you do want. Spend more time focusing on what you want and watch your belief grow and desires come. Yeah, I feel like in the next 7 days you're focusing on that which brings you joy and warmth, like a warm feeling, something that is quite pleasant to you. Yeah, and in the next 7 days you will be gaining clarity as to what no longer resonates with you, what it is that you want to experience more of, and what it is that you want to experience less of. Like maybe what is it that you want to say goodbye to, perhaps, and what is it that you want to open the door to receive more of. And we also have procrastination simply means you are not energetically ready. Don't push. You will get what you need done when you are ready, and it will be effortless. Yeah, so for those of you who are like busy bees, you like to be up to date with everything, you're always on the go, in the next 7 days you might feel this need, this desire to slow down. I don't see you feeling any pressure to get ahead of anything or get ahead of anyone. I don't see you feeling any pressure to meet certain expectations, perhaps, or what came through even was meet certain deadlines. Yeah, it seems like you're taking it slow, you're pacing yourself, you're taking your time. A lot of you could actually be taking a break from work in the next 7 days, or you could be postponing one or few meetings or appointments, because I do see you taking some kind of break. Some of you could even go on a spontaneous trip sometime in the next 7 days. And actually, some of you could choose to step back or away from something because you are having difficulty with it. And this is not to say that you're giving up on it. It's more like you're understanding that sometimes you do need to take a step back, take a break from something in order to gain clarity over it, or in order to be able to approach it with a new and different perspective that might actually help to improve the situation or to get things moving again. Because sometimes it's like a math problem. When we're having trouble with it and we've been on this math problem for a long time, we can get stuck, like to the point where nothing clicks, nothing makes sense. And so that's when we know that we need to take a break, need to take a step back. Because the mind can get tired and the mind can get bored with seeing the same thing over and over again, that it just like restricts the imagination, the creativity, the critical thinking. So yeah, if that happens to be the case for some of you, I do feel like you're being quite flexible with this, in which you are allowing yourself to take that time to step away from this, take a break, and come back to it at a later time when you are feeling a lot more rested perhaps, or a lot more clear-headed. And I do feel like the quality of your sleep is going to improve in the next 7 days. Yeah, like I said, if you're someone who spend most of your past or your life being on the go, I feel like in the next 7 days, and this is maybe an energy that you have been experiencing as of late, it doesn't just have to be in the next 7 days, you're more comfortable with pacing yourself. Like, you're more comfortable with taking it slow, with giving yourself a break from time to time, with releasing worry or concern about meeting certain expectations perhaps, or relieving yourself of a lot of pressure. Yeah, and with this canine here, we do have like 2 canines showing up in your spread. You may be spending time with a canine, with an animal companion. Could be a feline, could be a bird, could be any animal. But I do see you spending time with one or more than one. And this person's haircut is really standing out to me. So some of you could be getting your hair done sometime in the next 7 days, or you could be getting a haircut. Some of you could be cutting your hair short. Maybe you have been thinking about cutting your hair quite short. But this short haircut is just making me think of relieving yourself of a lot of burdens, pressure, like getting a load off of your shoulders, having less on your mind. Yeah, and then we do have like these signals or this web that is emitting from this person's crown, and that just makes me think again of like introspection. Some of you could actually be like resuming a spiritual practice, or delving more into a spiritual practice, or commencing one in the next 7 days. If you aren't yet on a spiritual journey per se, like in the next 7 days, something could be coming up or presented to you that is going to inspire you to commence your spiritual journey, or to learn more about spirituality or spiritual practice, or take on a spiritual practice. Some of you could be resuming like a meditative practice as well. Yeah, but I do feel like some of you could be like looking more into a belief system, maybe learning more about a religion or a philosophy. With the sun here, I do see you spending time in a very sunny place or location. Or if you are going on a trip, you could be visiting a place where it's very sunny or quite warm. You might also find yourself waking up quite early or earlier than usual, but without forcing yourself. It's like you're like naturally waking up at this early hour and feeling quite refreshed, revitalized, energized. The number 7 could be of significance. You might have been born on the month of July or on the 7th of a month, or you might be a life path number 7, or if it happens to be the 7th day of the month, sometime in the next 7 days, that day in specific may be of significance. Also, I do see you engaging or taking part of some light physical activity, like jumping rope or walking around. I am seeing someone kind of getting up early to walk, or to, what just came to mind was like feed the animals or tend to a garden, water the plants, something like that, or prepare a hot beverage. I don't know. Okay, but let me move to the last segment of this reading, where we are going to find out what will be occurring on specific days. So for this part of the reading, I will be utilizing some homemade dice. So yeah, just a heads up that this part might get a little bit noisy. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Whoa, okay. Okay, I guess that's it. So I'm going to be putting back into the bag all of the dice that did not fall inside of the circle. Oops. As well as the dice that didn't fall with an image facing up. So I'm going to put this one back into the bag. And the only 2 dice that actually fell on the circle with an image facing up are the hammer and the signs pointing in different directions. And the hammer fell right in between the first and the second day of the next 7 days, and the sign fell out for the first day. So on the first day of the next 7 days, you could be making a very important decision, but this is reminding me of being at a crossroads, going back and forth in between 2 things, 2 paths, 2 options, choices. So if you have been considering two different options or more than two options. I feel like in the first day of the next 7 days, you could be making a final decision. Okay, to be fair, I actually feel like you might be postponing making this final decision. Some of you could actually be going on a trip or on a vacation to get your mind off of this, or to get more clarity, maybe to introspect about this situation here, to actually come to some decision after much introspection, contemplation. Yeah, because these signs pointing in different directions also making me think of a trip, like of a destination. So on the first day of the next 7 days, a lot of you could be deciding to go on a trip, to go somewhere, to visit a new location, to... The expression that came to mind was make yourself scarce. So you could actually, if you are currently working, you could be taking a break from work. Yeah, because we do have the hammer here, which fell right in between the first day and the second day of the next 7 days. And the hammer makes me think of hard work. It makes me think of going over something again and again. It makes me think of rigidity, also being quite hard on yourself or on something. So on the first and the second day of the next 7 days, you could actually be going over something, or as mentioned at the beginning, you might be going over something that needs your approval, your authorization, or you could be going over something to make adjustments, corrections, edits before finalizing it, completing it. Because I do see you being hard at work on something. It could also be that if on the first day of the next 7 days you are deciding to go on a trip or take a break, on the first and second day of the next 7 days, you could be working to make the preparations, plan for this trip, for example. Or you could be working to get everything that you need to get done back at home or at work, like get everything organized perhaps before you leave, before you start your vacation or take this break. But I also feel like this is indicating something being on your mind. So yeah, if there is a decision you need to make and you have yet to make it, I do feel like this is going to be quite prevalent in your mind for the first 2 days of the next 7 days. Like you might be running this over and over in your head, trying to figure out what decision to make, what's the best choice. Some of you could even be considering whether there is another choice, like whether these are your only options, and if not, can you create a different option for yourself? Like, do you have to settle on these two? Or can you create a different path, one that is more to your liking, more suiting for you? Some of you could be working on a DIY project for the first and second day of the next 7 days. Maybe you are carpenters, builders, you do reconstruct or refurbish or flip items like homes or furniture. And again, you could be working on a project, maybe working to finalize it, completing it on the first and second day. So I feel like on the first and second day, you are going to be pretty busy. You are going to be working hard at something, or you're going to be dedicating a lot of your time and energy on a project. And then after completing this or making the adjustments or spending time on this, that's when you might choose to take a break. Because it could be that on these 2 days, you did exert a lot of your energy. And so the rest of the days, you might utilize them to recover that energy you exerted. But I don't know, I picked up this deck, so I feel like there's another card that wants to come out for you guys, so I'll just pull out one more card and then I'll end your reading there. Okay, so 2 cards fell out together, and we have, if you are uncertain, know this is okay. Trust the answer will come in due time, and you will know exactly what to do. Yeah, so I feel like this is a message for those of you who have been going back and forth on something, haven't yet made up your mind about something. Know that if you are uncertain, it's okay, and the answer will come in due time. Like, you will know. And it's very possible that you already know the answer, but maybe you're just having trouble accepting it. Or maybe you're quite anxious or hesitating about what you actually want. And so, like, if you give yourself a little bit of time, focus on other things that are outside of this, that will allow for you to come to this realization or come to accept the answer that you already know to be true for you. Yeah, because we have this cloud that is drifting away from the sun, and the sun represents clarity. So clarity will definitely come to you, and it could definitely be coming to you sometime in these next 7 days. but we also have, there is no worthiness to prove. No, you are perfect as you are, and life is supposed to be fun. Okay, so I'm not going to interpret this one. I'm just going to leave it open to your interpretation. I will just point out the symbols here that are really standing out to me. So infinity symbols could be of significance. Also, like angel numbers could be quite important. They might be popping up quite a bit in the next 7 days. So just pay attention to them and pay attention to what is going on, what you're feeling, what you're thinking when you see these angel numbers. And if you feel called to like research them, look them up, see what they mean or the general meaning that is attached to them, then do so, because that might help you or serve as some kind of confirmation or reassurance for you. Also, there's something about a deity, but I'm not getting any specific names, so maybe some of you are working with a deity or something about a specific deity will come up in the next 7 days. And let's see what else. Sun imagery may be important. Dogs, canines, the sun. Something about your sun sign. Maybe some of you are having your solar return sometime in the next 7 days, meaning your birthday, or something important may be occurring on your birth month, because there's something about your sun sign, but I don't know what. It's just that's what keeps coming to mind. Sun sign. You could be meeting or spending time with someone who has the same sun sign as you in these next 7 days. Yeah, and they could be providing you with a lot of wisdom, or like their perspective, their perception, maybe their inquiries, their beliefs could be raising some questions in you or get you to introspect about certain things or inspire something new in you, especially pertaining to beliefs or a lifestyle and approach to life. Okay, but these are all the messages I am getting or seeing for you guys. Also, heart shapes or heart-shaped things could be important. And the color green. Yeah, the color green seems to be of significance or relevance, or will be in the next 7 days. It could be your favorite color, or you might be very drawn to the color green in the next 7 days. But green is making me think of peace, nature, tranquility, serenity. It's also making me think of the heart space, the heart chakra. So you might be feeling very compassionate, loving, or quite possibly sentimental in the next 7 days, and very drawn to nature as well. And this image here, the illustration, is making me think of a green thumb. So some of you could have quite the green thumb, or in the next 7 days you could be very drawn to nature, very drawn to plants. You could be getting plants, new plants, or tending to plants, or a garden. Messages keep coming to mind. Also, something about a masquerade or masks is coming up. So maybe you could be attending a festival where they wear masks, or you could be attending some kind of masquerade. I'm being reminded of Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Maybe some of you are wanting to, or you will be attending a Mardi Gras or the Mardi Gras in New Orleans, or maybe you are from New Orleans. Yeah, but that came up. And now I have come to the ending of your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it brought you some clarity, some guidance. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and a huge thank you to all of you who took the time to watch the advertisement, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to Spirit, who assisted me with delivering these messages to you. So thank you, Spirit. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful next 7 days. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, if you chose group 3, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on this group's energy, the word freedom came to mind. And I also saw in my mind's eye the image of a cowboy hat as well as a lotus flower. So some of you who chose this group could be reciting or could be from a place in which cowboy hats are quite common, or they are part of the culture. Maybe you own one or often wear one. And the lotus flower could be an important or significant symbol for you in specific. Or in the next 7 days, you could be looking more into the meaning of the lotus flower or learning more about its history, its origins. Or you could be from the country in which this flower is native to. But I do get the feeling that a lot of you who chose this group are from the States, the United States, or maybe in the next 7 days you could be visiting the US. But let me now pull out the cards to get a little bit more info about the next 7 days. And is it getting dark? Okay, so we have the King of Wands with number 50, the bear. Yeah, the bear made me think of California. So some of you could be from California, or in the next 7 days you might be visiting or residing in the state of California. And the King of Wands is associated with fire signs, so that would be Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. So some of you could be a fire sign, moon, or rising sign, or there could be a lot of fire placements in your natal chart, or a fire, sun, moon, or rising sign will be playing a significant role in your life in the next 7 days. Also, the number 50 is really standing out to me. You may be 50 years of age, or you could be dealing with or spending time with someone who is 50 years of age in the next 7 days. But I was really drawn to the number 5 because if we reduce 50 by adding 5 and 0, we get 5. And the number 5 is a number of transformation, of unexpected changes. And the word upheaval just came to mind. Okay, so we have number 65, another 5 and 65, with yawn and boredom in the message. There's a situation that no longer needs your attention. There is boredom that is to be reached, so say goodbye for now. This may also be an indicator that you need more sleep. Whatever the case, it's time to take a break from any monotony, whether in thoughts, people, or situations. Also, what just came through or came to mind was the country India. So some of you could be from India, or you could be visiting, spending time in this country sometime in the next 7 days. But with yawn and boredom, yeah, I feel like in the next 7 days you might, okay, let me address this first. The bear is reminding me of the song The Bare Necessities, and with yawn, in the next 7 days, there could be a little mix of both wanting to take action, be active, create positive changes, get things in motion, build momentum, but there could also be this desire to take it slow, to rest, maybe sleep in or go to bed early, take a nap in the evening, in the late afternoon. It could also be that maybe there is a lot to do at work if you're currently working, or a lot to do at school if you're currently a student, or there's just a lot to do at home, and you are attending to all of them, and that is, leaving you drained at some point of the day, or that is just resulting in you wanting to take it slow, because it feels like you are attending to your responsibilities, your day-to-day task, but by the time that you're done with all of that, you just want to rest, you just want to sleep, you just want to take it slow, you want to do the bare minimum, just want to do what is necessary and needed of you, or needed for you to be comfortable, for you to finish your day, get ready for bed, and that's it. But with boredom, what was coming through is that in general, it feels like it's time for a change. I don't know if you yourself feel this way, that it's time for a change, and that's why I'm picking up on that, or that's the feeling overall, because there is some kind of monotony that I'm picking up on, and I'm not sure if you're aware of that, if you mind that, if you really want to change that, but it feels like the energy has been pretty much the same, or the routine has been pretty much the same for quite some time now, and it's become monotonous, it's become quite obvious, and not to the point of it being comfortable, but to the point of it kind of being numbing, because I am sensing a lack of stimulation, or I'm sensing a lack of excitement. And again, I'm not sure if this is resonating with you, whether it's something that you're concerned about, whether it's something that is bothering you, whether it's something that you do want to change, right? Because if it isn't, if you're okay with this pace, with this rhythm, with this lifestyle, with these routines that you're quite familiar with, then you might choose to continue things as they are, not create any changes, just let things proceed as they have for quite some time. And if that is the case, I feel like in the next 7 days it will proceed as it has up until now. So in other words, nothing much new is going to happen, nothing different really is going to occur unless there is a desire for there to be some kind of change or shift. Because with the number 5, as mentioned, this indicates unexpected changes and can often also speak about transformation. So if there is a hidden desire for something different, for stimulation, for a little bit of thrill, of excitement, I do feel like something is in the works. And what is coming through is that if you choose to take action, if you choose to do something different in the next 7 days, that is going to speed the process of you experiencing some kind of big change in your life, or multiple changes. It will kind of like the first step, or the step forward to a new beginning per se, or to a new experience. Yet, if you don't choose to do anything different in the next 7 days, like get out of your routine, get out of this monotony, then things are going to play out pretty much the same. Yet, sometime later on in the future, or in the near future, there will be some unexpected shifts or changes. There will be changes in your life. And because the King of Wands is very action-orientated, quite passionate, I do feel like you do exert a lot of your energy, your time, maybe even your passion onto a specific area of your life. So it could be work, it could be maybe relationships or personal projects of yours. And I feel like this is where you take the most action, but in other areas of your life, there's like little to no action. That's the feeling I'm getting. So it could be in these other areas of life where you might be lacking stimulation, or you might be wanting for something to change or not. As mentioned previously, very much depends on like what you do want at this current moment. But I do feel the energy itself, regardless of how you perceive it, it is feeling a bit stagnant, a bit stifled. It feels stuffy. It's sort of like the energy is coming through to speak to you, to let you know like, it's getting pretty stuffy in here. It might be a good idea to get things going, get things moving, just so the energy will start flowing. But, it will be up to you whether you want to set that in motion, get the energy flowing in the next 7 days. If not, like I said, overall, things will be pretty much the same. And I do feel like there's something that's quite repetitive. It feels sort of seasonal to me. Like there could be moments in which there's not a lot going on because of the season. It's just pretty slow. It's just like based on the timing. It could be like those slow months, for example. And then there's seasons where things are pretty hectic. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of work and stuff like that. And that in itself is like something that is quite obvious, because it's something that it's part of a pattern. It's something that you've experienced before, so you kind of expect it. So in the next 7 days, you could be experiencing a season, a time, or it could be a time in which things will get pretty busy. Yet, even though it's busy, even though there's action, it still feels pretty monotonous, because it's the same thing. Just to give an example, like let's say a business owner that knows that at a certain time of the year there's little to no business, and so they expect it, and it's kind of the same thing every year. But they also know that there's a season where it gets pretty busy, there's a lot of business, but it's the same thing every year, right? So it's kind of still a bit monotonous, a bit repetitive, even if there is a change within the year. Does that make sense? So that's what it feels like to me. Like the next 7 days could be part of, or you could be entering into a season, into a time in which an area of your life is going to get pretty busy, or you yourself get pretty busy because maybe it gets pretty busy at work. Yet it is something that happens yearly. So you kind of expect it. And actually with Yawn, there could be something that you're working on or doing that isn't really thrilling you, that isn't really stimulating you. Like maybe with the King of Wands, you're still trying to find thrill or excitement in it. Maybe if you are wanting change, or you are seeking that stimulation, you could be doing little things here and there to try and make this a little bit more entertaining, engaging for you or for others perhaps. And you might see a little bit of difference, but you could still be seeking or wanting for something a little bit more exciting perhaps. But I do feel, like I said, this feels cyclical, so I do feel like this isn't going to last forever. Maybe it will last the entirety of the next 7 days, but I don't feel like this is something that's going to last for like maybe the rest of the year, or for another year, or even the rest of the month if you're at the beginning of a month by the time that you're watching this reading. I feel like it is temporary, in other words. Because again, that number 5 is all about change. But now I'm going to pull out some extra oracle cards to get any more messages, advice, and guidance for the next 7 days. Yeah, if there is something that is not quite engaging for you, there may be something that you can do to make this a little bit more entertaining or engaging for you, but it will be up to you whether you want to do that. Because there is this feeling with this bear and that song Bare Necessities coming through of if you want to see that change, you do kind of need to get out of your way to make it happen, to create it. At least for these next 7 days. And I just heard SpongeBob in my mind. I heard SpongeBob saying, I don't feel like it. So yeah, maybe some of you won't be in the mood for that, and that's perfectly fine. Again, we're only looking into the next 7 days. Yeah, because maybe you're just wanting to take it slow. Maybe you are wanting to know what's going to happen next. You are wanting this monotony, maybe even simplicity, or like knowing what to expect kind of thing. And if that is the case, then that's totally fine. Like I said, I see you seeing just that if that's what you're aiming for. But we have practice the art of allowing, get in touch with your inner being, and activate your own guidance system. Let me pull out another oracle card. Oh, okay, so 2 fell out, but only 1 flipped over, and the one that flipped over is good things are happening to you too. Remember this and know there is plenty for everyone. Yeah, so good things are also happening to you. This could be a reminder to you if things are pretty slow right now, or you feel like there's not much excitement in your life or not much going on, that, it isn't always going to be this way. This could just be a phase, a stage, a moment in your life that is meant to be pretty slow, or if you perceive it as such, uneventful per se, just to give you some reprieve of any chaos you experienced in the past, or to give you just a moment to slow down or take it slow. But that doesn't mean that you are never going to experience something different, because you will. And you can create opportunities to experience what it is that you're longing for or craving for, if that is the case for you. Because with the message, know there is plenty for everyone, what came through was the message, you can also experience it. It can also happen to you. Yeah, so if you're looking at someone else's journey, or you're looking at something and you're wondering, man, it only happens to them, or I'll never get to experience that, or this will never happen to me, this is your reminder that no, this is not true. There will be, or maybe there are currently opportunities for you to experience this as well. And yeah, who knows, maybe in the near future something, a huge shift might happen, or you will be in a completely different place where you are now, right? Especially I feel like this will be true for those of you who are already setting intentions to experience something different, or who are wanting that. Yeah, because at this moment you could very well be attracting it or manifesting these events, these experiences, this kind of or form of life or living. But we also have confidence is not needed to move forward in life. Focus on the very act of moving forward, and in that momentum, confidence will be found. So the word momentum really stood out to me. Some of you could very well be in the next 7 days creating, building, starting a momentum. Yeah, and if you do want to move forward, focus on that, on the very act of moving forward. This illustration here, it's making me think of the zodiac sign Leo. So some of you could be a Leo sun, moon, or rising, or Leo season in and of itself could be quite significant. Also, an eclipse or an eclipse season could be of importance. Because this is a timeless reading, I'm not sure if by the time you're watching this there is an eclipse coming up or it's eclipse season, but if it is, then this would be a perfect time to set intentions, or this could be a time in which would be great to like try something new, or create new habits, start building upon new habits, especially if you want to release old habits or tendencies or get out of old patterns. But with this message on the confidence card, I'm getting something like someone waiting to feel a certain way or to be a certain way before they start taking an active role in their life. So For example, someone could be waiting to feel utterly confident or be their ideal version of themselves before they start taking an active role in their life, or before they start pursuing their dreams, or being a more active participant in things. And I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong. I'm not getting any insinuation of that. All that is coming through with this message is you can start now, right? Confidence is often something that is acquired after you do the thing and as you do it. Because as you start seeing that you can, that you're able, that you went for it, that you were able to overcome a certain fear and insecurity and just do the thing, pursue the dream, that's when confidence starts making an appearance. I'm not quite sure, but based on this illustration, what is coming through is that confidence can come in spurts, in like moments, can be felt in a single moment. It's not necessarily something that is consistently felt or all throughout. So yeah, you may experience a moment, like a spurt of confidence here and there, that will then allow for you to do something that you're often insecure about, or face an insecurity of yours. But again, it is up to you. The lion is making me think of free will, and you know, the word freedom did come to mind, so that could just be indicating that you do have free will, that it is your choice how you go about your life, how you move in this world. But now I want to move on to the last segment of this reading, where we're going to find out what may be occurring on specific days. So I am going to draw some homemade dice, so it might get pretty noisy. Just FYI, oh sorry, and a heads up. So let's see. Oh, okay. I guess that's it. So I'm going to put back into the bag all of the dice that did not fall on the circle, or in the circle. And I'm also going to put back into the bag the dice that didn't fall with an image facing up. So the only dice that fell in the circle with an image facing up is the car. And actually I believe this one fell out with the Venn diagram facing upwards, but then it got hit by another dice and turned over onto the vehicle. So I'm going to take that into account as I interpret the illustration, and this dice did fall out on the third day of the next 7 days. So on the third day of the next 7 days, you could be taking a trip, a short distance trip with someone, because this is also making me think of like two rings linked. So like two energies, two people, two individuals. So you could be traveling with someone or going on a short distance trip, and maybe even going on a road trip. Or what just came to mind is that you could be carpooling with someone on the third day of the next 7 days, giving someone that you know a ride. You could also be doing some car maintenance on this day. Or if your car is in the car shop currently, you could be picking it up on this day. It will be ready for you on the third day of the next 7 days. Or you will be getting good news about a vehicle, a car of yours, or a mode of transportation, because this could even be like a motorcycle. Like for example, if you're currently looking for a car, wanting to purchase one, yeah, you could be finding the perfect vehicle on the third day of the next 7 days, or you could be making some kind of transaction on this day and getting your vehicle. Or if you're wanting to sell a car or like a motorcycle, you could be selling it on the third day of the next 7 days. But what just came through was make sure to check for gas, or that your car does have gas. So just make sure to check up on that before going out for a drive if you currently do own a vehicle. Yeah, because we do have Saturn here, and Saturn is the planet of discipline. So yeah, some of you could be doing some kind of car maintenance. But I keep thinking of a desert, and what comes to mind when I think of a desert is Arizona, California, Las Vegas. So maybe some of you are, like if you are residing in California, you could be taking a trip to Las Vegas, Nevada, Arizona. But that's all that is coming to mind, actually. Like when there's no more messages, my mind goes completely blank. So my mind is going completely blank right now. Oh, okay, what just came to mind is that someone could be visiting you on the third day of the next 7 days. So this could be someone that lives nearby you, or someone who is not that far away. Like they could travel by car to see you, to meet you. And it seems like they will be traveling by car to get to you. Or this could be the other way around. Maybe you are visiting someone and traveling by car or by bus as well. Yeah, and I'm just seeing like a safe trip, all going well. There's also something about a little blue car, like a toy car. Yeah, but let me see. Anything else I am being drawn to point out? The bear can speak of intuition, and because we do have this message of activate your own guidance system, the guidance system just made me think of a GPS. So make sure if you're traveling far or to an unknown location, as in you've never been there before, just make sure you have your GPS on, or if you know how to read a map, have a map with you. But this may also be hinting at you that you could be traveling or taking a trip somewhere that you've never been to before. But this is making me think that in the next 7 days, you are going to be called to connect with your own guidance system, work with your own intuition to come to some kind of conclusion, or know what next steps to take, know what to do. Yeah, and this illustration of, the hands reaching out to each other, it's making me think of connecting. So you could be connecting with someone that you haven't seen in a while in the next 7 days. Like I said, someone could be visiting you, or you could be heading out to visit someone. Oh, okay, something that just came to mind. If you meet someone new, or someone that you're not very well acquainted with in the next 7 days, pay attention to your intuition, to your instincts, to your gut feelings. If something about this person just feels a little off, or you feel uncomfortable being around this person, pay attention to that. Don't dismiss those feelings. It doesn't mean that you have to pass judgment right off the bat, or make assumptions right off the bat. Just pay attention to those instincts, to those gut feelings. Like if you don't feel comfortable around someone, then maybe it might not be a good idea to spend alone time with that person, or to invite them to your place, for example, or spill your heart and soul to them. Allow yourself to be vulnerable with them. Tell them your secrets, your most private affairs, that sort of thing. You get the gist. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but it's just coming through as a heads up. Because your intuition will be letting you know, especially your instincts, that's what I get with the bear, like your primal instincts, your senses, they're going to let you know if something is off or not. Yeah, what just came through to mind right now is be careful of confiding in someone that you barely know, or confiding something very important to someone that you barely know. Just an advice or suggestion for these next 7 days that came up. But these are all the messages that are coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. And for all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to Spirit, who assisted me with delivering these messages to you. So thank you, Spirit. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful next 7 days. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, if you chose group 4, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on this group's energy, the message working together came to mind. So in the next 7 days, you might be working together with colleagues, co-workers, friends perhaps. You might be working as or in a team. You may also be collaborating with one or more people, but what was coming through in specific is that in the next 7 days, a lot of you will be working with energy or working with spirit, possibly deities. And this illustration, the back illustration of this deck, really stood out to me for this particular group. So some of you could identify or see yourself as witches. Yeah, and you could be working on some spells, doing a bit of magic or manifesting in the next 7 days. You could be working alongside a familiar. That's what came through. Or some of you could be doing some moon magic or working with the energy of the moon to create, to manifest, or to release. But that is all that is coming through. Some of you could be working on a new recipe. I don't know if it's like a spell work recipe or like a recipe for a dish, for a meal. What just came through is that some of you could be chefs, or you could work at a restaurant or be the owner of a restaurant. Or you just might be quite talented in the kitchen. You might just enjoy cooking. Yeah, and you could be trying new recipes in the next 7 days. Okay, so yeah, so one card flipped over, but it didn't fall out, and that is the Knight of Pentacles with number 14, and the card that did fall out is the Nine of Cups with number 16, the ship. Oh, and the Page of Pentacles, we have the Rider. So the Nine of Cups represents wish fulfillments, getting exactly what you intended, expected, or were manifesting. Yeah, so some of you could actually be doing some energy work, working possibly with the law of attraction, or you could be doing some manifestation work in the next 7 days. And whatever it is that you're doing, it will be working, or it is working. It will be giving you results. Could be in the next 7 days, or very, very soon. Yeah, because I feel like, let's say if you have been manifesting in the next 7 days, this could very well manifest. But if it is that in the next 7 days you are doing manifestation work, that maybe this will manifest at some later point. Yeah, and actually the number 14 and 16 is really standing out to me, and it's making me think of a window of time. Like a window of time of 3 days. So maybe from the time you set an intention for something, in the span of 3 days, or 3 days after you set the intention, this will come to pass, or you will get or experience exactly what you set an intention for, what you were trying to manifest or attract. But it could also be something that you have been working on, like physically, tangibly, because we do have the Page of Pentacles, which does indicate hard work paying off, perseverance. And actually, I can read this card as either the Knight or the Page of Pentacles. It's not quite clear what the Jack of Diamonds is meant to translate as in terms to traditional tarot, but yeah, having the horse here, this could also be interpreted as the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles does speak about hard work paying off. The Page of Pentacles indicates excellent prospects, solid new beginnings, like setting new goals and developing a plan, laying foundations. The Knight of Pentacles is more about setting things in motion, working towards something, seeing progress. So it could be a little bit of both. It could be that in the next 7 days you are seeing progress of something that you've been working hard at, but you're also setting something new in motion, laying new foundations, maybe creating a new plan, for example, or executing a plan that you have recently created. But having a horse here jumping over the fence, and then this ship sailing at full speed, it is making me think of movement and travel. So some of you could be traveling in the next 7 days, or like I said, you could simply be setting something in motion, or something is being set in motion. So again, if you have been trying to manifest and or attract something, I feel like this is your confirmation or reassurance to you that it is working. Like whatever it is that you intended for, it has been set in motion. Like it is currently in the works. Possibly, maybe it's currently heading your way, making its way to you, if it is something that you've been trying to attract. But we have number 40 with your time, and the key phrases alone time and solo excursion, with the message, don't feel like you can't have time for yourself. You are independent, and that is what makes you so beautiful. Take time away only for yourself. You deserve to do what you want when you want. So you could be taking some time for yourself, having some alone time in the next 7 days. You might be going on some kind of trip, and this could be like a solo trip, a solo excursion. But what I immediately thought of when I saw the illustration was like divine timing. And I also thought of the expression on your time, as well as it's a matter of time. So if you've been waiting for something, it's only a matter of time before it reaches you, before it gets to you. This illustration also made me think of a compass. So at this moment, you might be navigating your way through something, and in the next 7 days, you might be getting clarity or more clarity about like what the next step is, or what would be the best approach to something. You could be getting clearer focus Like I said, some of you could be formulating a plan. So you could be getting clear as to what it is that you want, perhaps, what it is that you want to create, what it is that you do want to call in or experience. And, you know, that is helping for you to come up with a plan so that then you can set things in motion, so that then you can take the first step or the next step forward. And again, with this clock here, it's reminding me of that window of time. So there could be an important window of time of 3 days. So like, for example, if you send out an email or a request, you will be receiving a reply within 3 days time. You may also be treating yourself to something nice or to an excursion in the next 7 days. I do see someone going out shopping, but that's only if that's something that thrills you, that's something that you like doing. Because if not, I just see you spending a day or 2 or 3, possibly 3 days in a row, how you want to spend it, what you believe to be a good time for you. But the Page of Pentacles, if I didn't mention this already, is associated with earth signs. So that would be Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. So some of you could be a earth, sun, moon, or rising sign, or there could be an earth, sun, moon, or rising sign who will be playing a significant role in your life in the next 7 days. This is also making me think of an age gap of 3 years. So you might be spending time with someone who you have a 3-year age gap. There could also be someone who is quite younger than you, maybe 3 years younger than you, who is gonna want a lot of your time, who is going to want of your attention. Because with me, I'm just hearing in my mind someone yelling, me, like pick me. There could also be some kind of event in the next 7 days that you might not really want to attend, but you might feel obligated to attend, and you might be leaving this event early. Yeah, because with the horse jumping over the fence and this ship sailing at full speed, it's making me think of fleeing, finding the first exit and just going for it. You could be doing a lot of outside or outdoor activities, more like in the next 7 days. Some of you could actually be riding or like sailing, but I am going to say I'm getting a pretty extravagant, rich, luxurious lifestyle, because I'm picking up on like being part of an exclusive club or having like a free pass to something, having access to exclusive amenities. Yeah, so this might be your way of living your lifestyle, but this could be the energy of someone else who like has a lot of wealth or does have access to certain luxuries that not everyone has access to. Yeah, and you could be spending time with this person, or they could be inviting you out sometime in the next 7 days. Because with the clock, it seems like someone is quite busy, and people are often scheduling appointments with them. People are often seeking them out. So again, this could be you or someone else that you might be spending time with in the next 7 days. It could also be with the Jack of Diamonds that you're starting to see a lot of profit, or like you are gaining a substantial amount of wealth. If you do offer services, you could be pretty booked in the next 7 days. If you are a business owner, business could be going very well for you. People might be wanting to work with you, actually. People might be reaching out to you to collaborate with you, to make business with you, because you are doing pretty well for yourself. Yeah, and maybe some of you have been pretty busy and you want some reprieve from this busy life. You do want to maybe escape a little bit, to have some alone time, because you have been spending so much of your time with others, or going to appointments, to meetings, working perhaps, and you do want some free time, some alone time to maybe enjoy the success of your hard work, your hard labor. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you will be doing exactly that with the Nine of Cups, because the Nine of Cups can also speak about luxury, can speak about gaiety, entertainment, pleasure, as well as fame. So some of you could be on the rise to fame or to wealth, perhaps, or like financial stability, financial independence, possibly, or financial freedom. You could even be reaching a point in which you are now able to have more free time, dedicate more time to you, because you are at this point of financial independence, security. Yeah, but I'm going to pull out some extra oracle cards to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance. I keep thinking of a yacht. I mean, I've worked with this deck several times, and I've seen this illustration several times, and I've never thought of a yacht before. But I keep thinking of a yacht. So some of you could own a yacht, or someone who owns a yacht could be inviting you on board, or you could be spending time with this person, or you could just be renting out one or getting on board a yacht in the next 7 days. You know, only take what resonates. Some of you might not even like going on sea. Sailing. But we have, there's no limit to your capacity to enjoy this moment in time. Embrace it now fully. Yeah, so I feel like a lot of you have reached a point in your journey, especially in your career and your profession, where you can't take a time off without serious repercussion, or where you can invest in certain luxuries. And some of you might be feeling guilty about that. You might not yet feel comfortable with investing money to treat yourself, for example, or to take a break from work, like a 3-day break, for example. And so this is your reassurance that it's okay for you to enjoy this moment. It's okay for you to enjoy your success, if you want to perceive it that way, to enjoy the rewards of your hard work and dedication, to enjoy this moment where you are right now. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, because even the bunny here is making me think of wealth, of abundance. Yeah, I feel like something is duplicating. It's duplicating. And for a lot of you, that could be resources. That could be money, profit, revenue, recognition, also networking, like connections, for example. Yeah, and a lot of you could be like enjoying this time. In the next 7 days, you could be going all out and enjoying yourself. There's this feeling of it's now or never, so that could be your mindset or mentality in the next 7 days. But we also have do something creative and play as often as you can. This will renew your energy. So there's a lot of playfulness going on here. So in the next 7 days, you could just be playing hard or just being quite playful, enjoying yourself, doing things that you enjoy that bring you pleasure. Yeah, possibly taking a break from work, from school, maybe taking some time for you. And it could also be, I'm getting something like camp, or what's it called, like a retreat, like purposefully taking a time off from work or from the day-to-day responsibilities in order to clear your mind, or going on a trip, on a vacation, with the purpose of clearing your mind, organizing your thoughts, or gaining inspiration, like getting back into that creative flow, for example. But some of you could be visiting a museum, going to a concert, or some art event, like an art exhibit, for example. Or you could be visiting a city or a location that is known for its arts, like an art district, somewhere where there are a lot of artists, like on the street, people painting, people singing, people playing music, instruments. Oh, and by the way, if it happens to be the 14th or the 16th of the month in the next 7 days, those specific days could be of significance. And from the 14th to the 16th, you know, that span of time, that window of time could be of importance. Now I'm going to move on to the last segment of this reading, where we are going to find out what will be occurring on specific days. So I'm going to draw out some homemade dice for this, and it's going to get pretty noisy. So just a heads up. Oh, yeah, we have the money sign. Okay. And I guess that's it. So I'm going to put back into the little bag all of the dice that did not fall in the circle. And I will also be putting back the dice that didn't fall with an image facing up. So I'm going to put this one back into the bag. I will only consider these 3 that actually fell in the circle with an image facing up, which are the $sign. Oh, this one too. And the water drop. So yeah, like I said, I feel like some of you guys are balling. You're making money, or you're doing well financially, or you're seeing an increase in profit and revenue. You could be feeling quite financially stable, financially well off. you may be experiencing financial freedom. And because this did fall out on the second day of the next 7 days, on this specific day, you could be receiving a paycheck, or someone could be paying you back, like maybe someone that owed you money, or you could be seeing an increase in profit and revenue on this day. It could also be that if you sell items, or like if you are an artist who sells your work, you could be selling one of your works, or like making a very great sale on this day. But it could also be that on this day you might be splurging a bit. You might be treating yourself to something nice, or you could also be lending someone money. You could also be making some financial investment, or like important money transaction on this day. What else is coming through that is that on this day you could be lending someone money or helping someone out financially. I mean, for those of you who are philanthropists, or you love doing community service, you love volunteering, helping others, you could be donating money on this day. You know, helping a nonprofit, for example, or starting your own nonprofit. But on the 5th day of the next 7 days, we do have the water drop. And this made me think of the expression or the slang word drip, so which means like very cool, awesome, or something that's like in fashion or stylish. So I don't know how to use this word in context, but on this day you could just be exuding so much charisma. Someone could be complimenting you on your outfit, your style, your fashion sense. Someone could actually be using the word drip on you, or when referring to you, or referring to something that maybe you are a part of or working on. Yeah, but I feel like you're going to be seen as very cool or fashionable. So maybe on this day you're going to be going out, going to some kind of social event or gathering where you might be standing out to others because of your fashion sense or your amazing styling. The water drop also makes me think how things can accumulate. And I just thought of the Neil Armstrong quote. Also, because drip is like a trendy word, I think. If you post online or you share your work online, on this day it could be trending. It might be going viral, but definitely it might be trending. You might be receiving a lot of likes or comments, or a lot of people might be sharing your post, your work. But yeah, I was talking about a quote. So the quote is, "One small step for men, one giant leap for mankind." So you could be taking a step forward. Like I said, some of you might actually be planning something in the next 7 days, taking the first step or the next step to something. And this is just to let you know that this is just the beginning, right? That this might seem small right now, or it might start as something small, but it can definitely grow into something substantial or bigger than what it currently is. So this is the first drop of water to a soon-to-be pond or lake, or possibly even sea or ocean, to a large body of water, in other words. Also, this is making me think of hydrating, so just remember to keep hydrated. But a few things I want to point out before I wrap up this reading. So bunnies, hares, rainbows, compasses could be important symbols or signs for the next 7 days. And with the horse, some of you could have been born on the year of the horse, or that in the next 7 days you might be spending some quality time or a lot of time with someone who was born on the year of the horse or on the year of the rabbit. So you could also have been born on the year of the rabbit. Yeah, but only take that if it does resonate or apply. If not, then it's okay, just let it be. Also, the years 2014 and 2016 just came up. So those could have been pretty important or significant years for some of you guys. Might be serving as some kind of confirmation for some of you. But these are all the messages that are coming through. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. And for all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to Spirit, who assisted me with delivering these messages to you. So thank you so much, Spirit. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful next 7 days. And until the next moment, bye bye.